Hi everybody, welcome to week 5. You are almost finished with all of this, and I am so happy to be here at the end with you, and I hope that everybody is feeling comfortable and confident, and I'm going to do my best to make sure you get through week 5 just as well as everything else, if not better. So our first question on the worksheet for week 5 is about overcoming challenges, and I'm going to urge you again to pay attention to word counts because they are important, and you can have roughly 20 words per line, and that's an average. It's not exact, but it's a really good way for you to focus on what you've got there without being all concerned about how many exactly. We're not worried about exactness, we're just worried about getting close. So 50 to 75 word response, and that's to each of these questions. And again, if you put your cursor in the worksheet, give yourself an enter and then a tab and then start. It'll be a really great way to separate your questions from your responses. It doesn't have to be like that, of course. You could choose to instead highlight the sentence and then bold or change the color or whatever it is you want to do to make sure that your questions and answers are different. So make sure that you're doing something that highlights the difference of those two things. Now, this first question is really going to be up to you. How has the course helped you with challenges? Maybe your challenge was to time management. And again, you're going to be looking back on your success prep inventory, which is in chapter 2, and we worked on that in week 1. So look back on that, and if you're finding you want to talk about something different, that's okay too. But if you're comparing what you thought 5 weeks ago to what you think now, you'll find that you have grown a lot. And so we really hope that you'll take this time to reflect. But whatever the challenge was, maybe in week 1 you didn't realize that in week 3 there would be a death in your family, or somebody would get COVID, or all of the many other things that can have happened. So maybe your issue was with sick children the whole time, which is again related to time management, or whatever your challenges were, those are what you're going to address in this question. You aren't really going to get this wrong as long as you are supporting what you've said. So what you say, your answer, what's your challenge, isn't important. How you support that is what helps. I'm sorry, I read that as I was talking. So it's how you support that that's going to make a difference in how your grade goes here. So what is your challenge? Explain yourself. Actions you've taken, your plans to move forward, and resources that you've used to help you overcome these. And again, resources can be with the University of Phoenix Library. It can be your family and friends. Maybe you've had friends that came over and helped you out while you had COVID so that your kids could keep going to school, or whatever your challenge was, and whatever you did to reach out and get help with that. And somehow I went backward. Okay, question 2, or part 2, goal setting. The biggest issue that I get with this question is that this short-term goal is going to have to do with graduating. So you might take it one class at a time, or one assignment at a time, but maybe you'll take it 1 month at a time. So like, I'm just going to try to get through January, and then I'm going to try to get through February, and then I'm going to get through March. Or maybe I'll get through this class, and then I'm going to get through my English class, and then I'm going to get through my math class, and just one class at a time. Taking one class is not going to get you there. Taking one class at a time, that will get you there. So what are your tiny goals that are going to make it to your larger goal? That's what this question is asking. Now, I want to make a point of addressing that grades are an aspiration. They are not goals. So getting good grades is not a goal. Don't use it. What you could use is getting a grade of B or better in each class. because that's still taking one class at a time. You are giving yourself a measuring tool there by putting the grade in, but the grade itself is not the goal. It is just a tool. So don't use things like having good time management. Yeah, you know what? That's a great strategy, but it's not a goal, and it's not going to be the goal that gets you to graduation. So make sure what you're using is an actual goal and that it will lead to graduation. Losing weight, I've had people use that one. That's not going to get you to graduation. So what is a small goal that will help you achieve graduation? And then how does setting goals lead to success? I get a multitude of answers in here. As long as you are supporting your response, there isn't really a right or a wrong. I suppose there are ways to have a wrong answer on here, but I haven't seen one yet. So as long as you know how goals lead to success and explain it, that's good. And then benefits of both long and short-term goals, and there are benefits to both. If all I had were long-term goals, I would probably lose my motivation, for example. And if all I had were short-term goals, I wouldn't actually accomplish anything great. I would accomplish a lot, but nothing real great. So, that just talk about that. Part 3 for time management. This one is mostly going to be your ideas and explanations, but I want you to make sure that this first question you pay attention to what was your initial estimate of how much time it would take you in class. Now, some people say, well, I didn't really think of anything, and they just leave it at that. That's not what it's asking you. Even if you didn't say, well, I'm going to use 2 hours a day or 8 hours a week, or how, even if you didn't have a plan like that before you started, because most people don't. That's why we go through that. But even still, you probably told a friend, well, I'm starting school, so I'm not going to have much time left. Go with that. Go with that original thought that you were, or maybe you thought, well, it's just an online school. It's going to be easy peasy. And then, and maybe it was. For some people get through this a lot quicker and a lot easier than some other people do. Some people struggle through all of it. So everybody's answer is a little bit different. Just explain yourself. But I also want you to talk about whether or not the estimate was accurate. Again, there isn't a right or a wrong answer. This is about reflection. It's about reflecting on your expectations and reality. So they often are lined right up perfectly. That's great. But most people either way overestimate or way underestimate how much time this is all going to take them. So reflect on that. Part 4, a couple of things that really get missed on here are that this first question is about specific communication methods. Communication methods are oral or written, like I would say, even that's not my examples. I would say something like emails or giving speeches or talking on the phone to customers or clients or writing letters to potential clients or something like that. Whatever it is that you are doing better to communicate. Maybe it isn't even something like that. Maybe it's giving speeches or writing or whatever it is you do or will do. It doesn't even have to be something you do now. If it's something you will do. So that's up on whatever it is for you, and explain it. The 5 steps, that's going to be up to you, which one is hardest for you or most challenging. Maybe you're really good at all of them, but what's most challenging? Maybe you're really bad at all of them, but what's the most challenging? Okay, so read the questions and answer what it's asking. And the resource from the Writing Center, if you don't know and you just go visit the Writing Center so that you can see a list of them and pick one, am I going to know? Answer it. So how do you plan to network both academically and professionally? The worst thing you can do is say, well, I already do this. Okay, so what's your plan then? I need to know what your plan going forward is. Maybe you'll do it exactly the way you do, but I suspect you've gotten more ideas that maybe you could try. Don't leave it at, I'm just going to talk to my instructors and my classmates, because that's not, for one thing, a very good plan. For another thing, that's academic networking. What are you going to do so that you can either get a better job, get a better paying job, go somewhere where there is a job? How are you going to find out what questions they're going to ask at your interviews? Who are you going to talk to find out what they have to do in their jobs, or to find out what they recommend you study even? I mean, networking can be all kinds of things. So make a plan for that. And if you have any questions, please come to me. I am here whenever you need me, and that includes after you're gone. So if you save my number, you want to contact me in the future, just let me know who you are. I'd love to hear you as you graduate. So anybody who comes back and wants to say, hey, I did it, I will be as impressed and excited as you are, I'm sure. Anyway, I will let you go. Thanks for your time. Good luck.